Hello, my name's Rachel and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be covering AllWorld ETFs. Perhaps you've been investing for a long time and you would like to add an AllWorld ETF to your portfolio, or perhaps you're dipping your toe into the water with investing and have heard that investing in an AllWorld ETF will give you a nice diverse portfolio with low costs. There are two main players at the moment in terms of the AllWorld ETFs, and they are Vanguard and Invesco. So we're going to go through their AllWorld ETF offerings in today's video. So we're going to be covering everything from their fees to their total net assets to really compare which one might be the right investment for you. So as I said, we are specifically focusing on AllWorld ETFs in this video. That means that you are going to be covered for both emerging markets and developed markets as well. So as I said, within this ETF, you are getting stocks from the whole world, but it's important to note that within an AllWorld index or ETF, about 60% of that ETF is going to be made up of US stocks. So first and foremost, I want to cover fees because they are so important. We all know that with investing, fees really compound over time and make a big difference to the pot of money you are left with at the end of investing. So first of all, the Invesco FTSE AllWorld ETF currently has investment fees of 0.15%. So that's actually lower than Vanguard's offering. So Vanguard's FTSE AllWorld ETF, the fees for that are 0.22%, so considerably higher really. So perhaps you're thinking, that's it, that's my decision made, I'll go with the Invesco one, I'll go with the cheaper option. There are some other things that I want you to consider when deciding which investment to make. Obviously, these investments are tracking both the same markets, so there won't be much of a difference there. However, there is quite a big difference when you look at when the Invesco ETF was established. It was only established in June 2023, so it's relatively new. So you can't see past performance of how they have tracked their specific index and market. Obviously, it should be very similar to the Vanguard one, but you can't see that previous history there. Whereas the launch date for the Vanguard FTSE AllWorld, if we're looking specifically at the accumulation version, that was established in 2019. So you've got a little bit more of history in terms of returns. So let's look now at the 6-month trading returns. So they are 9.09% for the Invesco FTSE AllWorld, and for the Vanguard FTSE AllWorld, you're looking at trading returns for 6 months of 8.86%. And as I said, because that Invesco AllWorld ETF has not been established for that long, we can't actually look at anything like 3-year or 5-year annualized returns. So I'm going to give those to you for the Vanguard FTSE AllWorld accumulation one. The 3-year annualized returns for that are 8.16%. So as I said, because the Invesco ETF has not been established for as long as the Vanguard ETF, the total net assets for the Invesco ETF are 82.36 million, whereas for the Vanguard ETF, they're a whopping 17,867.67 million. So much higher total net assets for the Vanguard fund. So essentially, if you were considering whether to invest in the Invesco or the Vanguard AllWorld ETF, you've really got to weigh up whether low fees are more important to you or having a bit more of a history with a specific ETF. So as I said, the Vanguard ETF has much higher total net assets. It's been established for longer, but those fees are higher. And with the Invesco, you're looking at lower fees of 0.15%, but it hasn't even been established for a full year yet. And then the other factor that is worth considering when you're choosing which AllWorld ETF to go with is whether you want to invest in an accumulating ETF or a distribution ETF. So for both Invesco and for Vanguard, both of these options are available. So for the Invesco one, the code for the accumulation ETF is FWRG, and for the distribution ETF, it is FTWG. For the Vanguard accumulation, it is VWRP, and for the Vanguard distributing, it is VWRL. So those options are all available. If you're not sure what accumulating and distribution is, I do have a separate video on this. So an accumulating ETF will keep the dividends within that investment and reinvest them for you. Whereas if you're, say, for example, a retiree and you're looking to get an income from an ETF or an investment, then you might be more interested in the distribution version. So with that, any dividends are paid out. So I personally prefer to invest in accumulation or accumulating ETFs and investments because I prefer the dividend money to be reinvested. It's less hassle for me. I want those investments to slowly grow over time. I am a long-term investor and I don't want the income from dividends to come out of those investments. So I personally would go with an accumulating ETF, but again, that decision is up to you, and there are options for both of these all-world ETFs to be invested in either an accumulating or a distribution kind. So I hope you found this video helpful and it's given you more of an idea about which all-world ETF you would prefer to invest in. If you have found it helpful, I would absolutely love it if you could subscribe to this channel. It would mean the world to me. Thanks so much for watching and have a lovely day. Bye bye.